So by now we learned about 2 examples where we can use sound design to make our videos better. But what about instances where you want to add a voiceover on top of these videos? So basically you're going to have one audio track be the focus of the audios and have the rest of the environmental noises playing behind them. In today's lesson, we're going to learn how we can achieve clean audio from different situations. There is always going to be noise issues when you shoot outdoors, maybe someone talking in the back, the wind, and these things can be helped depending on the situation. So I have 3 videos here. I will also demonstrate how we can denoise a voiceover. So by the end of this lesson, you will know how to clean different types of audios. So let's begin with a video where we have a lot of background noise and see how we can salvage the clip. Let's make our sequence right here. You can see how crazy these sound waves are. You can see it just goes up and down, and there are no pauses in between. Let's listen to the audio. So the wind is so intense that it's just going straight into the microphone, therefore catching all of these sound waves. So when I come to the audio workspace, I have some options. If you go right here in Audio Track Mixer, and it's telling you the name of the video. If you're not seeing this, just go to Window and bring in the Audio Track Mixer for that clip. Once you have this, I'm going to click on this arrow to get these white bars. Now this is where you get to add special effects to your audio. So our first special effect is to denoise this clip, which basically means that I'm going to remove the background noise with this special effect. Grab the first selection, click on it. By default, it's on none, but once you go down to noise reduction / restoration, you will have some options. So we're going to go straight for denoise. Click on it once. By default, it's on 40, but you get to increase it depending on how well it helps your clip. Let's play this back. So it's a little different. Let's see what happens when I increase this all the way. So like 100. Play this back. Notice how it kind of made everything flat and we're not hearing that intense wind. That's because denoise is targeting the audios that are not that close to the mic. So let's say if your mic is in front of you and someone is talking in the next room, adding denoise to your clip is going to get rid of that background noise and just focus on your audio. But the problem with this video is that, like we said, the wind is way too harsh and it's pretty close to the microphone. So even when I brought it to 100%, I couldn't get rid of the really high peaks that you see right here. So adding denoise, you can remove the little noises that are underneath. Normally they're underneath this line, but the ones that go above this will be harder to remove. So I can't really do much with this clip. Maybe try to embrace the wind and just try to make it a little mellow. So maybe 76%. Play this back. This is what it sounds like without the denoise. Click on this FX. So it did remove something. I'm going to play it again with the denoise. Without the denoise. So with denoise, it makes it a little mellow, but in the end, we weren't able to get rid of these really high peaks. You could try to save this with some music, a voiceover, or anything else that can distract the audience from the heavy wind and into whatever the point of your video is. Also, it's really important to add your special effects in the audio track mixer rather than directly onto that track. That way you can avoid getting complications as you are trimming your video. Let's say this is my raw clip and I have yet to split it and trim it. So instead of just adding the denoise, bring my effect menu here. Let's search for denoise. If I add it in here directly onto my audio track, whenever I split this, Premiere Pro is going to have to analyze this little section all over again. So imagine if you had to make mini cuts, Premiere Pro would have to do that for every tiny bit, and that can be a problem when you are about to export. So this problem will show up in your audio track when you export it as a fade in. So at every little cut, there will be a fade in, and basically you're kind of talking like this instead of like this, because you're interrupted at every cut that you made during editing. So it's really important to add your special effects in the audio track mixer and not directly onto your audio tracks. This way, if I do it here, no matter what I do here, I make like 50 cuts on my video, this effect is just permanently over this entire track. So it doesn't have to reanalyze my clip. It's just there from the beginning and it just stays there until I export. So it's really important to do it here and not straight onto your footage. All right, let's take a look at another example. I'm going to bring my project window here. All right, get rid of this one. Now let's bring something that's a little easier to deal with. We have this outdoor shot. You can see that these sound waves are a lot less intense compared to this one. You can see the difference. So everything is underneath the 0 decibels. This line is currently set on 0. Let's remove denoise and see what we're dealing with. So I took this outdoors. There were people speaking. There was a restaurant that had like a TV turned on, and there is a lot of audio coming in, but it's a lot less intense than the other video. And we can just tell that from the sound waves. Now, what happens when I add this denoise onto this? The same denoise effect onto track 1. Make sure that you're putting it on the right track with just 40%. Let's see how that changes the audio. So it's a lot better. This is without the denoise. This is with denoise. And now I have the opportunity to use this with my sound designs. If you increase this above the amount necessary, you will end up distorting your audio. So if 40% is good, there's no need for you to go to like 100 because you're going to distort everything within your audio. So there is no need for you to exceed the required amount. And the amount depends on your audio, so there isn't a magic number. So that's my second example. I just need a denoise, but sometimes you will have other things going on. So because this was shot outdoors, denoise should do it for me. I don't need any other effect for noise removal. When there's a situation like this was shot indoors. So when you're shooting indoors, there is naturally going to be echo, especially if your room has less furniture. The amount of echo will be increased. So the sound waves of this clip is rather intense compared to our second example. Let's see what it sounds like. So why are these so loud? Well, the obvious reason is that the camera is pretty close to the action, and with every click that the person is doing with their metal tool, we are getting a high point in our sound wave. So there is still people talking in the back, and I can remove that with my denoise effect. Audio track mixer, denoise, try 40%. So now I'm not hearing the people in the back, but mostly the clicks that this person is doing. Let's try to increase this amount. So now I know that I went overboard because the sound is distorted. Let's go back to maybe 33, play this back. So this is a lot better because I get the little click sounds, but I'm just not getting the additional noise of people talking in the back. This is what it sounded like without the noise. This is what it sounds like with denoise. You can also play it and turn it on and off. So it's quite different, and I only needed 33%. Now, apart from denoise, because we said this was shot indoors, I also need a de-reverb effect. So reverb should be familiar for most of you guys. If you listen to remixes on the internet, reverbing is basically where you add echo to an audio. So it's not the traditional echo where the person says something and it comes back with a delay, but rather a smoother echo effect. So it's an effect used quite often in music, but here we don't want any echo, so we need to de-reverb. So essentially removing the reverb. Click on it once, and again we get this percentage. This will go right underneath your first effect. Let's try it with 40%. So 40% is too much. Let's reduce it. Still a little much. I think maybe 15% should do it. And that's better. Let's see the before and after results. So with every click and every thud, we're not getting that big response. That's because we de-reverbed the audio. So now I have a cleaner audio that I can use for my commercials and so on. Now these were examples of just any audio without clear vocals. But what if I had a video where someone is speaking in it and I just want to get rid of the background noise? So we're going to try that with a voiceover that I can do inside Premiere Pro. Let's delete this video and get rid of these guys. So I'm just going to record a few voiceovers using this tool right here. If you click on it once, it's going to count from 3. Then it's going to record. You can stop it right here. So I'm going to do one where I'm just speaking directly into the microphone, another one where I'm speaking from a distance, and another one where I'm just making random noises. So we're going to see how I can save those different types of voiceovers using the effects that we learned about. So I am back with my different voiceovers. I use Premiere Pro for these voiceovers, but you can also use other applications. So there are 3 examples, one where I'm close to the mic, one where I'm away from the mic, and another one where I'm just making random noises as I'm speaking into the mic. So let's listen to what each one sounds like. Zoom in right here, play this back. This is me close to the mic. 1, 2, 3. So notice how my voice is a lot higher than the background noise. These guys are background, by the way. So this is the easiest example because you're pretty close to the mic and you're not getting that much of a background noise. If we take a look at these sound waves, you can see that there's barely anything here, but my voice is the only thing that's loud. So first of all, when I play this back, notice how it's really high, so it's giving me this red mark. If your audios are too loud, you need to fix the volume so that it's not discomforting for the audience. So right now I got this red bar, which means that I need to work with my volume. You can just grab it down here. Let's try -2 decibels. Me close to the mic. Gotta go a little more. Let's try -5. This is me close to the mic. 1, 2, 3. So now I'm no longer getting that red bar, which means that I'm in the safe zone. I could make this lower depending on what I'm doing, but for now we're just going to stick with -5. In a further lesson, I will give you guys some tip that you can use for better recordings. Let's get rid of the background noise. Go to the audio track mixer. For reference, I'm just going to duplicate this audio on the second track. Let's make this a different color. So everything on audio 1 will be affected by the special effects that we put on here, and audio 2 will be for the originals. So let's go into the audio track 1, add our denoise effect. Start with 40. I'm going to mute the original so we don't hear it at the same time. This is me close to the mic. 1, 2, 3. So just with 40%, I got rid of the background noise. Depending on how much you have, you would want to play this back, increase the amount, or decrease it. It's really important to play your audios back multiple times so that you don't miss out any distortions. If you did hear any distortions, you would want to reduce the amount, and that's the only thing you need to do. Alright, so apart from the background noise, we do have a little bit of a echo, because I recorded this in a room, and usually your voice bounces off the walls. So depending on how big or how empty your room is, you would want to use the de-reverb option. Just go over here, de-reverb, try 40. This is me close to the mic. 1. So this distorted my audio. I need to reduce the amount to like 10, 9. This is me close to the mic. 1, 2, 3. Let's increase it to like 10. This is me close to the mic. 1, 2, 3. And that's pretty good. So 10% de-reverb, 40% for denoise. Let's take a look at the before and after results. Push this to the side. So this is what our audio sounded like before. This is me close to the mic. 1, 2, 3. And this is what it sounds like right now. This is me close to the mic. 1, 2, 3. So we fixed it with just 2 effects. And we got ourselves a really clean audio that now I can put onto my commercials, my YouTube videos, and so on forth. Now let's take a look at our second audio where I'm a bit further away from the mic. You can see that these sound waves are not as high as the other example. So for this one, I guess I had a distance of like 40 centimeters from the mic. And in the previous one, it's about maybe 10. So let's first see what we're dealing with. I'm going to move this guy down to the original so I don't get these effects. This is me away from the mic. 1, 2, 3. So there's a lot more noise because, well, the microphone is catching onto the surrounding as I'm not close to the mic. So the distance between your mouth and the mic is really important. Here I was really far away, so I would have to add more to the amount for both of these effects. Duplicate the track. For denoise, I think we would have to go for 50. We have more reverb. Let's go for 20. This is me away from the mic. 1, 2, 3. So first let's fix the audio. Try -4. This is me away from the mic. 1, 2, 3. Alright, For denoise, let's go a little higher. This is me away from the mic. 1, 2, 3. And I'm just going back and forth with the amounts, depending on how it makes my audio sound. It may take a while, but it's really important that you put enough time for your for cleaning audios. So this is what I ended up with: 37% denoise, 15% de-reverb. Here is my result. This is me away from the mic. 1, 2, 3. So it's a lot better, but it's not as clean as the first one because of the distance I had from my mic. But still, we were able to salvage the audio using these effects. Let's see what it sounded like before. This is me away from the mic. 1, 2, 3. So this was before. This is after. This is me away from the mic. 1, 2, 3. So we got rid of that hissing sound that was in the air. We got rid of the echo. And now our audio is a lot more clean. So our third example is a lot more complicated. Usually if you're recording professionally, you wouldn't be getting something like this, but there are times where clients give you audios that are just not recorded properly and they want you to fix it. So one of the first steps that you should take is adjusting the volume. Naturally, if the volume is louder, you're going to hear more of those background noise and those other random noises in the back. So begin by lowering your audio. Let's try -5. This is me away from the mic with random noises. And duplicate this for later. So when I lower the volume, I can hear these guys less. But to take it a step further, I need to just add these effects. Let's try the things we had before. 37% denoise. And for de-reverb, 15%. This is me away from the mic with random noises. So let's zoom in onto our timeline and take a look at these sound waves in this audio. So by default, there are two types of audios. We have the primary sound, and then we have background noise. So your primary sound or your primary noise is whatever that is close to the mic. So this could be a song, someone speaking, a speech, etc. These are the focus of your audios, and therefore they're supposed to be louder than the background noise. So if your primary sound is not louder than the background sound, then the chances of you saving this audio and cleaning it are rather low. So it's really important for your primary sound to have a big difference. You can see right here it's quite taller than the background noise. So the next time that you are approached with a complicated audio where there isn't a difference between the primary sound and the background sound, then you would just know that there isn't a point in you trying to save it. So let's say this is what your complicated audio sounds like. In this section, there is someone speaking, giving a speech, and there is the sound of other people talking. So already this sound wave is quite low, and at the same time, I'm not seeing a difference between my primary sound, which is the person giving a speech, and the background noise, which is the people talking. So instead of wasting time and using all these different effects, I can just try to get a better audio. Now, there are some AI tools out there that can save audios like this, but those can be quite pricey, and they might not give you the audio that you're looking for. So the next time you get an audio, take a look at these sound waves and then decide what you're supposed to do with it. There's no need to jump straight into these special effects when you don't even know what type of audio you're dealing with. So for this one, I was really far away from my mic and I'm getting these peaks as I was snapping my fingers. So with the following settings, this is what I have. This is me away from the mic with random noises. So as you can see, I didn't add that much of each of these effects, but my voice is already distorted. This is because of the distance I had with my mic. And if I try to maybe make these more, I'm going to get a distorted audio. This is me away from the mic with random noises. So I sound like a robot right now. So for audios like these, I have to be really careful with the amount that I'm using, or else I will get a really bad audio. Let's try 18%. This is me away from the mic with random noises. So as you can see, I got something out of this, but the background noise is still there. I still have the background noise because when I was brushing my fingers, I was doing it close to the mic. But if I was doing this in the far back of the room, then I wouldn't be getting those extra noises in my primary sound. Let's try to work with the second option, 8%. This is me away from the mic with random noises. So this is a lot better. You can see that I had to use less audio because there is less room for Premiere Pro to work with. But in my first example where I was close to the mic, you can see that we ended up using quite a bit, although we changed it. But I think we had more than 40% for denoise. So as you get further away from the microphone, you're going to have to use less of these effects. You will find the most professional result when you're closer to your mic. And I don't mean maybe 1 inch away from your mic. A good maybe 4-inch or 5-inch is a good place to start for recording voiceovers, podcasts, speeches, and so on. You don't want to be too close to your mic, and you don't want to be too far away. We're going to talk about this in another lesson. Let's first see the difference between the third audio and its original version. This is me away from the mic with random noises. This is me away from the mic. This is me away from the mic. It is so much better, and I just needed 2 effects to fix this. So those were how you can clean different types of audio. What's happening inside these audios are really important. So like we said, there isn't a magical rule that you can apply to every type of audio. It depends on the sound waves, how much background noise you have, how separated your primary sound is, and so on. Now that we know how we can get clean vocals from audio, we can now go ahead and try a sound design that includes vocals. So we're going to learn about some other techniques, all in the next lesson.